It's beautiful, isn't it? They say that if you look far enough, you can see Blackpool. But I never have. And I come here all the time. You see, this is my bench. In loving memory of Margot Smith, loving wife, mother and sister. Not very original, is it? But I guess they just don't know what to write on these things. A bit like gravestones. 1933, 2014, 81. Not a bad innings, is it? I mean, was it? And I look good for my age, don't I? Okay, so I've had a heaven facelift, or two, but that's our little secret. There are definite perks, you know, to being dead. Like this bench, for instance. If I wasn't dead, it wouldn't even be here, and that would be such a shame. It's a very special place for me. So very special. Just here is where I pushed my husband off the cliff. And then I watched him tumble to a gruesome death. Have I shocked you? I have, haven't I? I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. Perhaps I should explain a bit more. You see, he deserved it. He said something that upset me, so really I had no other choice. I bet you're thinking what it was that he said. What would drive a completely loving wife to do such a terrible thing? He said he didn't like my hair. I bet you weren't expecting that. Let me guess. You were thinking an affair. Yes, an affair with a neighbour. No, with the secretary. Even better, that he was going to leave me for a girl half my age. Nothing like that. But you see, I'd just had it done, and I quite liked it. I had beautiful hair when I was younger. All he had to do was say one nice thing, just one, and then everything would have been fine. But he couldn't, could he? And sadly, everything went downhill from there. Such a shame. Oh well, too late now. They teach us in heaven not to dwell too much on the past. I saw that little look you gave each other when I said the word heaven. You didn't think I'd be there, did you? You push one person over the cliff, and all of a sudden, everybody goes all judgmental. It was apparently a very painful death. He survived the fall, but hit his head on the way down, and when he fell in the water, the blood attracted sharks. It was shark mating season, you see, but I can't be blamed for that, can I? He was missing a few parts when he was found. He still had his left hand though, so I got his wedding ring back. And I sold it and took a lovely cruise around the Mediterranean. I like coming back here. Do you think that's morbid? Our children do. But you know, when I come here, I don't think of him. No, not at all. All I see is the place where my life changed. May you finally find peace together. Oh, they haven't any idea. He never made it up there. You know, there was no real investigation into his death. They just called it an unfortunate accident. Oh, and that weather may have been a factor. It was a very windy day. I wasn't even there at the time, according to police reports. My well-timed hair appointment helped with that little detail. And my hairdresser, God bless him, vowing that I was there all afternoon. He always insisted on booking me in for 3 hours, knowing too well it only took 2. It's so that he could do less work, I think. But I am glad I tipped him so well that day. Oh, look at that. Jack and Jill forever. Oh, that's sweet. You know, we get a lot of lovers up here. Sometimes too much loving, if you get what I mean. And there's been an engagement. That was nice. Right, where was I? Oh yes, that day. You know, if I close my eyes and really concentrate, I can see the exact look on his face when he realised what I'd done. That I'd pushed him. Only for a split second, mind, but it's ingrained now in my memory. He looked so surprised. Not that I'd done it, but that I knew, that I'd found out. Oh, did I leave that bit out? The finding out. Silly me. It must be my age. I wasn't lying when I told you that he said he didn't like my hair. He did, and it upset me. But as they say, it only takes one straw to break the camel's back. I know it's not nice talking ill of the dead, but well, my husband wasn't a very nice man. He had the affairs I alluded to earlier. The secretary, the neighbour, oh, and the girl half his age. But I let it slide. In our world, it was apparently what important businessmen did. No, it was something else that weighed the camel down. It was discovering that my husband was trying to murder me. I have your attention now, don't I? A little word of advice, if I may. Never assume that love is stronger than money. Murder. Such a chilling word, isn't it? Murder. But that's exactly what my husband was trying to do. At first I thought I was being paranoid, that I was reading too much into those whispered phone calls, that it wasn't a strange influx of new documents for me to sign. Documents which I'm embarrassed to say that I'd never taken a real interest in reading before. But the signs just became too big to ignore. Have you ever been in a car when the brakes gave out? I have. Such a horrible feeling. Luckily, I've always been such a slow driver. And the house fire. You know, he tried to claim that I must have left the oven on after finishing baking. After 20 years, he still didn't know that I bought all that in. But to cut a long story short, I thought that maybe I should reread through those new documents. So I did. Well, my lawyer did. And surprise, surprise, hidden in all that silly lawyer speak, she found some new clauses. Clauses specifically linked to what would happen if I died. Is the picture becoming clearer now? But wait, it gets better. So, as I mentioned, I finished my hairdresser appointment early, and when he picked me up, he suggested a walk along the cliff trail. Now, it's a walk we've done many times before. And seeing as I just had my hair done, I was, of course, hesitant. But sometimes, as many women out there will know, it's just easier to agree. So there we were, walking the tracks, when suddenly he stopped at this very spot. We were caught in a wind tunnel. And of course I started moaning about my hair blowing out of place. And you know, rather than show concern, he said, "Good! I never liked it anyway." Now, for all you men out there, I will say this clearly. When a woman has her hair done, you never, ever say that you don't like it. Now, I need you to believe me when I tell you that I had no intention of confronting him that day. But that final insult, well, it tipped the scales. Through my tears, yes, I was foolishly crying. I came up with the most scathing reply that I could think of. But as I turned to start my tirade, I saw something that stopped me in my tracks. Without realizing, I'd moved precariously close to the cliff edge. And rather than show concern, my loving husband was smiling, and not only that, he had his arms outstretched, ready to push me. He was going to push me off the cliff. Well, thank God I used to be a dancer, because muscle memory kicked in, and without even thinking, I sashayed to the side, raised my hands into third position, giving a little push as he moved past, and up and over he went over the edge. I have never in my whole life been more glad that my mother forced me to keep up ballet. Goodness, I'm exhausted just remembering it all. You'll be very glad to know that life did get better after that. Much better. There are many stories I could tell you, but I think that's enough for today. So, am I forgiven? Are my sins reprieved? I like to think they are. So I'm going to sit here a while and relax on my seat. But off you go. There are some lovely views further along the trail. But be careful not to go too close to the cliff edge. It's shark mating season.